In part F, we have the following. Probability that z is less than or equal to some unknown location on this number line, or z is greater than or equal to 1.86, and that amount of area or probability should be 0.1426. I have one of the boundary points available. Let's plot it on this diagram. So I find where 1.86 would be on this standard normal number line, and it is slightly less than 2. And because the inequality symbol says greater than or equal to, I need to start at that point and go to the right. So my interval in question is this shaded area to the right of this boundary point of 1.86. There is the second boundary point that I don't know, and I want all z-scores that are to the left or less than that point. The question is, where do I place it? I know it should be somewhere on this number line, but where exactly? Its location will depend on the area that is reflecting both of the chunks. So I think in order for me to figure this location at least approximately, I need to know how much area we have covered by this half of the interval, this portion of the interval. How much area is there to the right of 1.86? In the previous parts, I was using Google Sheets to do the computations, and now I suggest we change this tool and go to the Art of Stat web apps to see how it's done there in case if you prefer this option. So I'm going to click on Online Web Apps. Please note I am using a browser within an app, so sometimes it can be a bit glitchy and I need to wait for it to listen to what I'm asking it to do. So I want to click on here, and it might take a little time for it to listen. Okay, please go there. Okay, great. Now I'm going to scroll down to normal distribution right here in the center. This blue bell-shaped curve is there. So I click on that option to open that app. And because in this particular story, I want to compute area to the right of 1.86, I'm going to choose the second tab, Find Probability, because that's what's going to help me to find the area with respect to specified value. So here is my standard normal curve with mean of 0 and standard deviation of 1. I want the upper tail, and I want that area with respect to 1.86. So let's see what that gives me. It tells me that the amount of area in the right tail with respect to 1.86 on the z-scale should be 0.0314. Let's round to 4 places. That should be sufficiently enough. Now that I know the amount of area to the right of 1.86, I can figure out how much area should the second portion of the interval have to its left by subtracting the total area of 0.1426 with 0.0314 we just computed, and it gives me 0.1126. This is the chunk that is responsible for this portion of the interval, and that is enough for me to figure out where this boundary should be. I want some z-score so that to the left of that z-score there is 0.1126 amount of area. You can again use Google Sheets or Art of Stat to compute this quantity, and I got a z-score of negative 1.21. To compute the z-score that has 0.1126 amount of area to its left, I go to the same normal distribution app on the Art of Stat webpage, and I choose the third tab to find percentile or quantile. Here, I should choose lower tail, which is great. Now I need to change the percentage from 95 to 11 point, what was it, 26 for us? So I convert 0.1126 into the percent, enter it, and it gives me the following information, that the point that separates 11.26% on the left side from the rest of the area is negative 1.21 when rounded to 2 decimal places. Notice again, I'm looking for the point that has this much of area to the left. So negative 1.21 to 2 places is sufficient.